Hello, welcome back to another episode of My Mate Bought a Toaster. This is the show that dives into an online purchase history in order to tell a fascinating life story. My guest today is the brilliant scaffolder, who's also become a fantastic comedian and writer and superstar, but mainly wonderful scaffolder. It's Tom Davis. Hello, Tom Davis.
I think people would argue with the wonderful scaffolder. I was a terrible scaffolder.
How long were you a scaffolder for?
15, 20 years, a long time.
Bloody hell.
On and off, I sort of slipped in and out of, scaffolding, hod carrying. I was a chef for a little bit.
Were you?
Yeah, I sort of tried my hand at most things and failed at most things.
But that you are basically going to Banter University, aren't you?
Yeah. And also, I think it's really good. I never had a set career. I left school very early with no qualifications, so I never had a set career plan, so to speak. So what I did for, nearly about 20 years was just went and failed at a lot of stuff and so when I came into this game and came into comedy, I'd almost become bulletproof for sort of rejection and sort of like invariably when you go for auditions or you stand up and it doesn't work, I was so used to failure.
Yeah.
It's just like, I call that that became my superpower.
It's the power of the shrug.
Yeah.
That is the cape.
Yeah,
It's right,
yeah.
just to go.
Yeah, it's water off a duck's back, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? I'll get up again and go again.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that I think it's the lesson in life that when you go back and chat to young people, and it's the one thing. It's like, don't be disheartened when things don't go to plan.
Yeah.
Always just think that everything has to be treated as a learning curve. Everything has to be, okay, what have I lost from this? But what can I take from it?
And also, all the people who do really well and succeed, they're all miserable.
Yeah,
It's all of us, slowly climbing up.
No, it is.
We're the happy ones. That's the only way to be happy is looking up. When you get to the top, you're like, what's after Everest?
Yeah.
I'm still in the foothills, man. Come down to the foothills, guys.
Yeah, it's lovely down here. Base camp's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, you're a bit higher than me. I'm sort of looking at your arse at the moment, if I'm honest, Tom.
It's a horrible view for anyone.
It's a terrible view. We are looking back into your past on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So the first time we see a glimmer, a flicker of life.
Yeah.
For your Amazon account is 2014.
Yes.
So where are we on the timeline there?
2014, I think, oh God, this is terrible, but I think I was just in the infancy of the relationship with my wife.
Okay.
So we were, I think, as far as she might kill me if she hears this, but yeah, I think that's where we were first together. So I think 2014, we were probably moving in together for the first time, actually.
We can see that.
Yeah.
I've got the evidence that you're not lying.
Yeah.
Because you've bought, and this is the most romantic thing in the world, you've bought a 40-litre Metal Effect bin.
I think we still have that bin.
They last, apart from the lids go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. There's a smell. If you, I should probably go back and buy another one. Actually, I'll probably sort of do another one. But yeah, because there's always a sort of, you can't cook fish and then keep it in the bin for any more than 2 or 3 hours because the lid's open and it's. But I actually just think a broken bin's a good thing to have because it's a good reminder it needs emptying.
This is really weird, but we've got, I don't want to get too smug too early on.
Yeah.
But actually, we've got it here already. Brabantia, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely bit of kit.
You've arrived when you've got Brabantia.
Yeah. That was a moment.
Some people see it as a metal bucket in the corner of the room. That is a status symbol.
I think it's when someone walks into your kitchen for the first time, you go, there's the bin. Have a little look at that. See? It's a loser's Ferrari, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh my God, it's exactly what it is. Take it all in. There's the bin.
Selfies with you in it. That's just me in my bin. Don't know why I've got that picture on there.
It's your screensaver.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
What's that, 40 litre? Yeah, 40 litre. You've got 30. But the lid went, and it meant that every now and again the bin would just open, and this is so weird. It looked like it was screaming. It was like we had a haunted bin, and it was really old. And every now and again, the Brabantia in the corner of the room would just go.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was so spooky.
But it's almost like it's screaming out to be emptied.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. When they're closed and they're sealed,
you
sometimes forget. But when you're sort of sitting there and you're watching Married at First Sight or something, and a waft comes into the room, you think, oh no, that needs emptying. It's like the bin saying, come on, mate, please give us a chance here.
It's like the bin's farted, basically. Jeez, we need to sort that out.
Serious halitosis coming from the bin.
Also, very difficult, as I discovered, to throw a bin away because you put a bin out.
Yeah.
And the bin man go,
Do you know, 2 things. So when I was a kid, the thing I wanted to do most in life, my big ambition was to be a bin man. I used to sort of sit out in my bedroom, and I'm probably there's a melancholy memory of this, and I've watched them all laughing and joking, getting the bins. Felt like great banter. So when I was probably about 16, 17, my dad managed to get me an interview to go and be a bin man. And I was so obsessed and so excitable when I went in. I I was sort of coming up with different routes. I was talking about how much I wanted to be a bin man.
And was the person interviewing you just going,
yeah, no one's ever wanted to be a bin man this much, and I didn't get the job. And
why? What?
years later, I bumped into the geezer, and I said, "Oh, you know," and I was working on sites then. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I remember coming in for an interview," and he said, "You know what? You'd have done everyone's head in. You were so eager. You were so pumped about it." And so I was sort of slightly, oh, wow, I should have just played it a bit more cool. It was like I sort of threw everything in my, you know, it's like going on a really bad first date and just turning up and going, I really like you. I really want to marry you.
Too keen.
And then, I sort of told someone this story, and then someone arranged so I could do like a day, like only about just before COVID. So I went and did a day on the dust.
Best day of your life. Is that what they call it? Day on the dust?
If you go back enough through my Instagram, you'll see a picture of me with the bin man. I had an amazing day. Yeah, it was great.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, it was really fun.
They're the bin men on our street. We love them.
Oh, no, they're great.
He lets the kids go up on when my kids were small, he let them go up on the dash and stuff.
Oh,
and
mate, I still now watch it. I mean, you know, they cut, yeah. And I think they're always got, what I love is in life, if you can get that little grift and you can get that little, so, you know, like, I remember the sort of guy next door saying, "Oh, you've got to be careful. Don't have your bin lid open at all because they won't take it, you know, on your big bin." And I went out and I chat to them in the morning because, you know, I want to be liked. And
stop doing a gig.
I've moved further away from where I'm from, so I end up now having to sort of try and make friends with bin men, so I might be able to get a pint with them. And he turned around and I got with him, and he was like, "You know, if you've got any extra bags or anything, like, just throw them on the side and you'll be all right." And now, you know, you think like that's such a small thing, but I feel like
massive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's nothing you feel like literally. I sort of like, you feel a bit like Wolf of Wall Street when you bowl down with your big fucking recycling bin and then a couple of bags by it, and you're like giving your neighbour a wink, going, "They'll be all right, we'll be fine." And he's going to take them.
The bin men black market.
Yeah,
you can get rid of stuff. It's true, and like something's broken in the house.
Yeah.
How are we going to get rid of that? It's all right.
I don't worry, Dave will take it. Give me a 24-pack of Stella for Christmas.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Tipping the bin men, and then also, oh my God, my wife, we tipped the postman, our brilliant postman, Daniel, right?
Yeah.
She gave him a little Christmas card with 20 quid in it, right? Yeah. And she didn't know what to say, and it was during the postal strikes.
Right.
She, "Dear Daniel," she just had a panic attack. She just wrote, "Up the workers."
Oh, wow.
What's love better?
Yeah.
Who writes that to him? Why have you done that?
That's a lovely thing. I bet it meant a lot to him. I bet he sort of still got that. And every time he feels aggrieved.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, it's a weird thing to give. It's a bit like a busman's holiday getting a card, isn't it?
Yeah. She should have sent it to him.
Yeah. Or just give him a text. It's an awful thing, isn't it? There. Can I have enough of these over Christmas as well?
Envelopes.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, please. I've got to carry this home with me.
Literally sighing as he's opening them. Actually, I suppose it might be quite nice because it's sort of like that, almost like a sort of alluring sort of like seduction thing. He's got all these letters he can never quite open.
Well, maybe Daniel's, you know, like you were with the bin men.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Can't believe we've talked about bins for 10 minutes. Welcome to My Mate Bought a Toaster. This is what we do. We're going into 2015 now, mate. So you've moved in with your partner, pre-kids here, Ultra Sport with vinyl, 2 dumbbells and like a step thing here.
Yes, I think that was actually for my wife. That
okay.
Maybe when was it? What was the date?
A bit of a Passag present to buy her.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
No, but she'd have asked for it. What is
she was asking for that. She had to that. This is August 2015.
Oh, no, it wouldn't have been for her birthday. So, no, that would have probably been, I don't know, it would have probably been we were going on holiday and I was trying to, that was that, like, oh, right, okay, now I need to get in shape.
We're going on holiday in a week. I'm going to...
Right, it says I'll just jump over this, I'll do a couple of weeks of weights, I'll have a 6-pack by the end of it.
I'm very excited about our holidays this summer, right? For similarly sharey vanity reasons. I've had my back, right? I've got the hairiest back in the world, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I lost my hair and it fell off my head and went onto my back.
Yeah, and your arse and
yeah. I never got into that on the show, but I've had it lasered.
Have you?
Had it all like something.
I'm halfway through it, so this is interesting. I've never spoke to anyone about this, but I'm like 2 or 3 treatments in, and it's sort of grown back less
on the back.
Yeah.
Parallel lives, mate.
Yeah. How is yours? You're fairer.
Yeah, but
no,
on my back.
No.
Some Sicilian blood coming through on my back.
Really?
Oh yeah. No, it looked like a dog's bed. It was, people would gasp, and I'd be on holiday in the Mediterranean, and people would gasp.
Did you not shave it before that?
No, I'd sort of make it into a little moustache. And my wife's
just here to party, shaving. Holiday vibes.
I didn't do that.
Yeah. No, you know what? There's a world where like you could arguably just say, why don't we make it more socially sort of like acceptable to have, and then just everyone's getting tattoos, just sort of shave stuff into your body hair. and that could become quite sexy. I'd love the idea that actually David Beckham starts like going, you know what, I'm growing my back hair.
Yeah.
I love the look of that. Next thing you know, he's just sort of going to Beckham 7 and shaved into his back hair. It'd be an incredible
my
thing.
back hair was so
That'd be my
revolting.
dream of seeing Bradley Cooper with just a fucking massive, like a doormat on his back.
See what Bradley Cooper's done with his back hair?
Yeah.
It's very good. It would, and barbers would be on board with it, right?
Yeah.
Hairdressers would love this.
Yeah. All
salon.
plaited nicely.
Brilliant. Plucking your back hair.
Centre part in through the middle.
You could grow your hair long and sort of tie it. Like, you've got those strands at the back of it. Tie it to the back hair at the bottom like a harp. I don't know.
I love the idea of just talking out to someone and going, "Oh God, I can't wait. I'm just trying to grow my neck hair out." Just got one long like hair, sort of like.
I love what you've done with your shoulder hair. It's really... So basically,
I think it's a bit much.
do you like it? You haven't said anything about my new shoulder do. I've had a shoulder do. You've said
It
nothing.
would make it more socially acceptable for men to start wearing like the crop top.
Yeah.
What you got that for? I've spent months growing out my shoulder hair. I think
That's so good.
I think it's empowering when you see women grow out their armpit hair and people do that. And I think we should take a leaf out of Sister's book and go, right, you know what, I'm going to grow this out.
Shoulder perms.
Yeah. Shoulder perms.
So I got the back. So we're 6 in now. 6 sessions in.
6.
And it's growing back. There's a few flecks growing back, so I've got to go again because they sell it to you in bulks of 6.
Yeah.
But basically, she mows the lawn with a laser on your back.
Yeah, no, it's painful as well. Do you know what I find the most painful thing? So do they do the
moles?
No, do they do the so the laser hits it, right? And then do they put the aloe vera on it?
No, I don't get aloe vera.
All right, you're going to,
To be fair, it's also my bin man who's doing it. He's done. Dave's like, all right, mate, I got 1 day.
I couldn't help but see you in the garden the other summer. I can get rid of that.
Get rid of anything, mate.
Someone threw a laser pen out the other year.
What else have we got in 2015? 100% Egyptian cotton bedding.
Yeah. It's a very important thing, the bed. I was upsold a bed, and it was probably the best sales pitch I've ever had. So when we moved in together, we one of the, obviously you need a bed. When we first bought our first sort of flat, we were like, right, we are furnishing it, and we went out and we got a bed, and the guy was like, we had this budget in mind, and then the salesman was like, how much would you spend if you went on a holiday? And you're like, well, we spend this.
Thousands.
And he was like, but yet you're only going to spend this amount on a bed, yet you sleep in a bed every night.
Oh, that's a great pitch.
Why? And the amount of relaxation, the amount of reducing how important sleep is. People don't pay any attention to sleep.
This is a game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's upsold me.
Yeah, no. And so we ended up spending our holiday, going on a really crappy holiday.
That's why we found 10 B.
But now we've got an incredible bed that we use every night.
Are you happy to share with the class how much you spent on a mattress?
Yeah, so as is, it's made down, I think, on the southwest coast. I think we spent $5,000 on it.
Oh my God!
What year was that?
15.
Yeah, I think we paid for it on a finance type deal.
Lovely.
I didn't have $5,000 knocking around at that time, so we paid it.
I was going to say, so Telly Money, has that come along yet in 2015? Are you starting to?
I think, you know what? 2015 was a real sort of turnaround, that sort of time in my life, because you
were sleeping well.
Yeah, no, the sleep came, and so my career started taking off. I'd sort of come to a real. I'd met my missus, and I was sort of for the first time probably taking my career really more seriously as a career.
How do you mean? What were you?
So
when I came
when I first came into this industry, I'd worked for a long time in jobs that I never, as I said earlier, that I never. It sounds mental, but your heart wasn't. I've been labouring. I've been doing the same thing for so long, and there was not much reward out of it. And I'd gone to watch a gig at Bethnal Green, the Backyard Club, and I'd seen Mickey Flanagan there, and I was like, wow, and it sort of stuck with me because I'd always loved comedy, but I'd never thought of giving it a try or never getting involved or how would you get about it or whatever. So I thought, I'm going to give this a try. And with no real idea of where it would go and how it would work out, I just started booking a few gigs. I did one of those sort of courses, and then I slowly booked gigs, and I was getting more and more into it. And then before really, in the infancy of my relationship with my wife, it was sort of I'd had a few little TV things, but I was still still kind of sort of thinking, how long will this last? How long is this just something that's just, it felt sort of, I still felt massively like an insider. I wasn't any part of any sort of, you have these comedy cliques, you have sort of people who quite quickly made friends. I didn't know, it wasn't people I'd necessarily sort of surrounded myself that my mates were still builders and scaffolders. So, and then I had a few sort of problems with sort of agents, money, and I sort of was just in a place, I think, that I was just like, I don't kind of know how this is financially going to work. I've done a few things, but it's like, it's such a strange thing where for most of your existence, you've earned money. I'd get paid in a pub on a Friday, or I could be, every Friday I got me money. Do you know what I mean? And that was how I'd live my life.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
dangerous place to get paid.
Yeah. If you got paid because someone hadn't spent it before you got there. And all of a sudden, you're sort of in a position where you're like going for auditions or going for, gigging and, doing open spots and hoping that leads to something.
Yeah.
So I think this 2015 was probably at the time when I started really sort of pushing myself more. I started to sort of take a bit more. I think I was with a new agent. I was being a bit more culpable, and also all of a sudden, like, I think I started growing up a bit of like, you know what, I'd always been like, a lad's lad, pubs, and all of a sudden I sort of had met sort of who turned out to be, who's the love of my life. And I sort of was a bit like, you know what, actually this is more than just this feels like, we're buying a flat, we're moving in together. And it felt like, actually, no, this is a grown up relationship.
When's successful? When does that happen? That's a good plot point on the show.
Oh, can I Google it?
Yeah, you can this is where Tom Davis has to Google himself
this is
to
terrible.
discover what's happened in his life.
Because that was obviously the big change, really.
Yeah.
But I'm so bad with dates. And
Yeah, that's fine. Get stuck in.
So, 2015.
So 2015, the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
You got, well, not even Trinity, you got four things. You got the new relationship, the new agent, the new TV show, and the new mattress.
Murder and Successful, just being the big thing. So Murder and Successful was, it was interesting for when you take you back there. So Murder and Successful, I won't be, but me and James at the time, we'd left our agent. We'd sort of, it was a really weird time. It was a lot of people were, my older agent people have been, don't take this show, it's so weird. And this show seems so, let this be the thing. So we were kind of like, me and James were like, we feel this is different enough. It was really hard to convey what the show would be. And
because it was very different.
Yeah.
To get a celebrity to come in and play an improvised game with you,
it was mad. So we had this weird thing of being,
and also, no offense, but you weren't a known quantity.
No, I was completely unknown. And it was, but I was skint as well at that time. So although like madly taking me back there, so to be buying a $5,000 mattress on finance, I think probably my wife, I think it was in my wife's name. It must have been because she had a full-time job. But well, I was bumping the training for filming and stuff, because I had no money. Like I can't genuinely, like how much Murder and Successful had to work for me was for not like it was the only time I was ever going to be a lead.
Yeah.
It was like the show I put everything into. We'd as a group, me, Andy, James, and Avril, all of us were like, this has to work for us, because it's like and I remember that first series trying to pitch it to people, trying to be like, this is what we think it's going to be. And celebrities, the ones that like Greg James, Deborah, Dermot, Jamie, the people, Kimberly, the people who came into that first series were so fucking incredible, like that they took the risk to do that with someone who wasn't known. It was more than just a TV show. It was like, this show is either going to be, it's going to be a thing that propels my career, or it will just tell me that actually make good of where I'm at, and
back to scaffolding.
Yeah. It was,
it's incredible.
There was a time in that, weirdly, we laid in bed, me and my missus, and we had no money, and I was still going then. I was still having to go up until Successful really pinged. I was still going and doing bits of work on building sites. I was still going to sell T-shirts. I think people think as soon as you got your own TV show that you're going to have fortunes in the bank. It was a punt by BBC Three, and I'll be forever indebted for the fact that they took that chance. But we didn't have a big budget. The reason that it looks the way it does, when you go back and see it, it's all filmed in the dark, is because we didn't have money for sets. So
that's amazing.
So we had to shoot.
There's no wall there. Make it black.
Yeah, no. That was it. So if you go back and watch that first series, there was no money, and it's all filmed in the shadows, and it gave it this noir-esque sort of feeling.
That's genius.
But that's why, it was Joe's the front.
Because no money.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to read you 4 items in 2018. So here's 4 things. Let's see where you are at in They were all bought on the same day,
Okay. Oh wow. Big.
right? You've got a heart rate monitor. You've got some earplugs.
Yeah.
You've got some biodegradable poo bags,
Yeah.
and you've got a freestanding punch bag
Yeah.
in the shape of a man.
Yes. Yeah. What a day that was.
What on earth's going on that day?
So I think my snoring was an all-time high.
So is the punch bag for your wife to
No,
go at?
that was earplugs. And so I think probably there was a discussion about me trying to lose weight because my snoring was so bad. And I remember that was the time when we were, it was sort of, do you snore? You're a snorer? Yeah.
We both snore though.
Yeah, no, I'm the only snorer. So earbuds, or as we call it, whatever,
Yeah.
have become an absolute game changer in our relationship. It's meant that we can that bed we can both use.
And it all comes back to the bed.
Yeah.
Also, what I love about earbuds is that they've slapped on 35 decibels.
Yeah, which I think we had to go higher.
So I just like the idea that one night you're snoring and your other half's like 32.
Yeah.
I can probably get these ones.
Still got the Bob.
What's it called, a Bob?
I don't know what it's called, Bob. It's called the Punch Bob.
Oh, there you Century Bob XL.
Yeah, that I was looking, when you're looking at something and you're like, that'll make my life infinitely better if I get that thing. I'd seen it in a film and I'd watched some Instagram videos or whatever of people punching it. And so it was a real big moment for me getting that. I was really like, yeah. But then it was one of those things that arrived and you got to fill it the bottom of it full of sand.
Did you have any sand with you?
No, so then I had to go down to home base and get the sand, and it actually turned into a bit of a drag. And
so
now,
when it arrives, it must look like a sort of sex toy. It's just a sort of bit of limp skin.
No. It's a big, heavy.
But it's empty. It's hollow.
No. The bottom's hollow. The top is
the top. Oh yeah, because the bottom. Yeah, if you don't fill the bottom,
it just falls over.
It's not going to weeble.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then you're going to feel like a superhero, right?
Yeah.
That Bob.
Now you
one
just feel
punch.
you feel like a weak. And now sometimes there's nothing worse than walking in like to the sort of our garage, which has sort of become a sort of man cave stroke gym, and seeing I've now got like another sort of couple of other things that I punched for boxing or Muay Thai, and Bob doesn't really get used. So sometimes sort of every now and again you'll be sort of at your desk and you'll look over and see his sad eyes.
And you punch me, please.
Yeah, come on, give us a kick in. He's quite a sort of, he's got this really quite sort of, although it's expressionless, you feel there's a bit of empathy towards Bob. It scares the shit out of my missus, by the way. We have a sort of glass door that she'll walk past, and at night, our fridge freezer, we've got this is how ritzy I am. We've got an outdoor fridge freezer and an indoor fridge freezer. We keep
started with a bin, it ends with an outdoor fridge freezer.
Living the dream. And but she'll go out and get something, and even now you'll just sit here and she'll go, I'm just going to go and get some milk from the outdoor fridge, and she'll go out and he'll go, like that, and it's just be this Bob in the corner. She'll go, fucking thing.
It's good though. Bob is, he's guarding the fridge freezer.
Yeah. Sometimes I've been right up against the window just looking out like he's moving around the place. Around 2018 and getting the Bob, I was like, I just need something that's gonna be more than just standing here and doing weights or kettlebell. It feels like I need to sort of, and to be fair, that the Bob at the time, I've moved on to sort of more complex things now, but he's still very dear in my heart. He's got a scarf on in the winter.
I love Bob. That's beautiful. He's cold
guy.
in the garage. He's cold in there.
The conversation that we have now about mental health, and I think we're doing something with it. Is it enough? And I think so much of it's relatable to how much you can actually physically you can do. So much of the time, I was brought up in a generation as were you, where going to the pub and standing around you could be standing with 5 mates and you could be talking for a whole night, but no one actually says anything. No one's like. When you break it down, you think the conversations that you'd have in a pub are so surface.
Yeah.
They were never like, it was like, oh, do you think West Ham are going to win the league, or do you think Liverpool are going to? Whatever. It was never a feeling of like, or do you think Tyson Fury would beat AJ, or do you think Muhammad Ali would beat Mike Tyson? It was also like, these are great things to sort of pass the time with, but no one ever really went, oh, how are you? How are you really? How's things going? And that we're starting to have those conversations more. And I think it's actually sort of like physically being able to go out and do something. I'm fortunate because if I'm honest with you, I was always scared of going to the gym. I always found the gym quite a sort of like a place where I sort of necessarily I'd go along, and I join gyms probably 3 times a year, walk around twice, and then just keep paying for them and just walk around never doing anything.
I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah.
I exercise in a little room in my house because the faces I pull.
Yeah.
I can't have people seeing those faces.
What a sweat, and
I'm not kidding. These things I do, and I'm so self-conscious, and so that's our
but
that's our business.
I'm 6'7". There's no hiding, And also, I'm 6'7". You get people going, God, let's see what I bet he can lift some. And then I've got like a couple of like 5 kg dumbbells. And
Etsy Empire, proven tactics for your Etsy empire. Is that you?
It's my wife.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
what's she doing there? What's going on there?
So my wife, yes, it's very good, this podcast. You actually, in a very weird way, get into conversation I never thought I'd chat about. But so when we go back to 2013, 14, when we were first together, I was struggling quite a lot to sort of make ends meet. So I was almost working like scaffolding, selling t-shirts, stand up, filming here and there. My wife had like a job, she was a sort of PA. And then she then in the evening and weekends walked dogs to earn us extra money. So we, for paying the rent. So I would, when I talk about her, it's a very I wouldn't be doing what feasibly at all about my wife. And then it was quite sort of once things started working and the ball started rolling. Murder and Successful Series 3 had been a success. We were moving on to other things. It dawned on me that she was never really that happy in what she did for a living. We were on holiday and I sort of was like, what do you want to do? And she was like, I sort of want to like be a seamstress. I've always wanted to sort of make clothing. So she went and studied at King's College and did a course there. And then she quite quickly found sort of a gap in the market for making veils, making bows, like a sort of, is a bodice, like a type thing for wedding dresses. Yeah, Vera Wang. Yeah,
it sounds right. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
Bodices.
Basque sort of thing, what I think they're called, whatever.
Basques,
so she started making these things, and then she set up an Etsy shop.
It's a wonderful moment though for you as a couple to be able to say you've backed me and I can back you.
Yeah, no, it was a really special thing to do, and she's really, all the credit that I give her is for the support she gave me. But
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
the seamstress as well. Were you like, what? Or were you like, I've seen this coming?
No. I knew that she was very creative, but I mean, it meant that. So the garage thing's quite fun. Like now, but I used to have an office in the house, and now that office has become a sewing room, which is.
Was that a day when you just walked in and went, right?
Okay, I don't live inside the house anymore. I say it's a sewing room at the moment. It's just full of prams and old cots, and it's a sort of storage room. Yeah, she's still So that's the and she read that book and again, another great thing about Amazon, right?
That's it. You can grab these sliding doors moments and you can jump on and see what happens. And a lot of these things end up in the bin and never used. And some of these things change your life. It's genuinely amazing. All right, listen, okay, let's crash on through. We're nearly at present day now, Tom Davis, and the story of you has unfolded beautifully as we get towards 2021 now. And you can see it, high protein stuff. We've got some men's cycling shorts. Oh my God, they're always funny because they've got that incredible bit of, that little bit of arse cheek there.
Yeah. So, whilst in the, it was, I had one of those assault bike things, the ones you do the arms and legs at the same time.
They're amazing.
Yeah, incredible. But I was getting like the fucking sorest arse ever. So I was like, one day I got off it and I went to sort of sit down on the couch. I was like, fucking hell. It was like, my arse had become rock. It was just sort of so tense. They're not built for comfort. They're not a Peloton, those things.
Arses aren't built for comfort.
No. That's I've only ever sat on my own. But I was like, no, this is like... So I was like, right, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a pair, invest in some cycling shorts. And
again, you would never have walked into a cycling shop.
No. You said Amazon purchased that, isn't it, all day long?
The anonymity of Amazon.
Yeah.
The man with the sore ass.
Yeah.
We're the place for you. Yeah. They don't use that as a strapline. I don't want to
waddle in like John Wayne and just the bloke, I know what you're after, cycling shorts. And
you just go around the corner and there's like 8 of you there.
There's nothing more as a big man going into somewhere and going, have you got a pair of cycling shorts in like a triple XL? And him going, no, we only go up to XL. So it's sort of like... I don't want them to be that tight. And I remember the day that they arrived and sort of not really, I hadn't told Catherine that I'd bought some cycling shorts. And I was like, and I came downstairs and I had like a T-shirt on and them. I was like, I'm just going to go on the bike. And she was like, what the f*** are they? What are you wearing? And I was like, no, because my bum's been sore. And she was like, no, we'll sell the bike before you're walking around, parading around the place and that. I'm like, I'm not in a gym. I'm just in there on my own. She was like, I've seen this. There's a great moment in Modern Family where Cam's wearing the cycling shorts.
Yes.
And it's like, they 2% of the population could look okay in them. Like when you got a stomach coming out, like,
oh man,
look,
just
I'm in a situation, an overshirt, a nice t-shirt. I can hold, I can hide some of my wares.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than looking at a very average sized penis sort of in cling film.
Yeah, they shrink wrap something that was already shrunken. That's the problem. And it's like stuffing...
And I'll say this as well, don't really work the padded bum.
Oh, that's a sad end.
No, it doesn't really.
In both senses, that's a sad end.
Yeah.
So there's no...
I think they're actually over Bob's shoulder at the moment. And I have been for about 2 years. I worn them like 3 times. It's just a really,
Poor Bob.
Yeah.
That's become the saddest story of this episode, the indignity of Bob. Bob's decline.
Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You're just a clothes horse.
Yeah.
For skanky old shorts.
It's like Woody from Toy Story. I remember when he used to punch a laugh out of me. Those stinking cycling shorts wrapped around my face.
I would suggest that Bob and the cycling shorts just bitch about you.
Yeah.
Should have seen what he did to me. Yeah, he did it 3 times though.
Yeah.
I've absolutely loved this. This has been brilliant. We are now in 2023, so this is the final hit of what you've been up to on Amazon. And again, it tells a beautiful story because there's 2 things going on here.
Yeah.
That for me, certainly in my life, have conflicted heavily. Now, I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
They're a bit older now.
Yeah.
So luckily, my great passion in life, the thing that I would literally leave everything for, including my wife and kids, is golf.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I know, who knew? Posh white middle-aged man likes golf. What a shocker.
Well, it's a weird thing that people have this thing that it's a posh or middle-class sport.
It's so changing, thank God.
Yeah, but it's a very working class. It also, but my uncles and everyone, it would be the thing that would get people for a week. It's like the urgency of working on a site on a Friday so people could get away at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And I've only got into golf really late in my life.
Okay.
But people would be like, we need to get away by 1 because I've got a tea time at 1:30. And I used to be like, you could play at 2. And you really realise the urgency.
And now you're in it. Now
oh, mate, now it's an obsession of mine. I'm again, like where we're talking about the fighting or the punching and the exercise. I find, and this is a mad thing, and when I say it, I find golf massively cathartic. I find it very relaxing.
Yeah.
I find it really... I play with people who get so uptight. Look, when I first started, I used to sort of really struggle, but then you realise you're never going to be that good at it.
I refuse to realise that, but yeah, go on.
This is my way I look at golf. Right, is that I was during lockdown. I didn't start playing until lockdown when that was coming around. We did a show. Me, Harry, and Jamie did a show with where we interviewed sports people. And we had loads of different people. And one of the people we got on was Rory McIlroy. And Rory came on with John Terry and Niall Horan. And
Niall Horan is the kingmaker of golf.
And they're all just talking. Harry, Jamie, obsessed with it. They're all just chatting golf. And I was like, this is like, I've never seen grown men this obsessed with anything. I was like, this is like, what? Am I missing out on something? And I've got mates that play. And then the week after that, we had someone else and they were chatting about golf, Peter, whatever. But when we were doing a Rory McIlroy episode, we were chatting off camera with Rory, and I was saying, maybe I'll take it out. And he's sort of sorted out for me to go to Titleist, get some clubs, like sort me out with this guy that he knew, because Titleist was literally the head office was like half an hour, 15 minutes, like from my house. It's like literally. So I literally had a 7-iron, used to go and hit it, and I just found it like I went for a stage of going, why can't I get good at this? And then I'd play a lot and realise actually the less importance you put on having a child, and I'm guessing that's the other thing. But
this is what I'm seeing conflicting, is that you've got Tommy Tippy, Closer to Nature, Baby Bottles, and a Milesy professional precision golf sort of telescope thing. Yeah. So
when I was going out, and especially before Grace was born, I'd go out, and I think, it's very hard to, your mind's a wash of like, I'm about to have a fucking baby, work, and I go and play golf, and that would show within my golf. I'd be almost like, and also I got really greedy. I was going out 3-4 times a week, playing golf, because I was just sort of like using it a bit as a coping mechanism. So I'd go out, I'd play, and I just sort of used to sort of almost take that for granted, but also I'd just let it get, like, I'd get really annoyed if things weren't, I'd play, but I wouldn't practice, whatever. Now, with Grace, it's like I'll probably go out, if I'm lucky, once a week. I'll go out.
That's
I'll practice.
Pretty good. How old's Grace? 1.5 years?
Yeah. So
yes, that's good.
I'll play, I'll hit some balls in the garden. I've got one of those nets, or I'll just practice.
I thought everyone was thinking massive garden.
No. Or I'll just practice the swing, the follow through. Anyhow, when when Grace was born, I was like, wow, I go out once a week. This is my time.
Yeah.
This is the time I get to hang with my mates, even go around on my own, whatever. And then having known a few pro golfers and seen how hard they work, the arrogance of thinking I should go out, practicing maybe going to driving range at most twice a month,
and then be any good,
and then thinking that I'm going to go out and I'm going to par or birdie every hole.
Well, imagine if a golfer did 1 gig a month. And didn't know why they weren't.
And then went and booked the O2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And thought, oh, cool. I don't know why I haven't sold it out. In my head, it was just like, so most times, if I'm playing a par 5, I'll look at it as a par 7. If and then I'm getting around okay. I play off like 22.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm an okay golfer, but my level of expectation's so low now.
Yeah.
So, and also what you notice, and I don't know how well you play or how long you played, is that if you start really well and then at the 8th hole to the 12th or the 13th, it's going to turn to absolute crap. And then you're going to somehow find a way it gets better again. That's just life.
Yes.
You contextualise it into gigs, into sort of how you live your life.
Yeah.
It's that thing of going, it's not always just going to run perfectly.
Yeah.
It doesn't for anyone.
No.
Like life, golf, whatever you look at, if you look at it like that and go, you know, you're going to have a couple of times where you hit 4 over, but then you might hit 1 under, and that's going to feel the best. And if you can look at your life like golf in that sense and go, not every day is going to be a 10.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to be lucky if it's a 4 or 5. People are going to pass.
Oh,
life is going to be ups and downs.
People think, oh, here we go. They've got into golf chat at the end. Oh, boring. No, guys. Au contraire. We've got into golf chat and we have found the metaphor for the whole thing, the whole shebang. Yeah. It's exactly it. That's why people love golf, because it's really hard. Yeah. You've got to keep going. You've got to accept what you get. All these things.
It makes you, like, I look at stand up and I look at fatherhood and whatever. You only get back from golf what you put in. You only get, you're not going to be amazingly good. The longer you stick at something, the better you're going to be. Yeah. And if you can use that in everything you do, you use that as a husband, a friend, a dad, whatever. Yeah. If you can think, you know what, I got that wrong today. I didn't quite get it right. I didn't nail that. That just wasn't, I require myself to be better. And the only way that's going to happen is if I practice, if I put in a little bit more, if I try a little bit harder. Yeah. And don't sweat it when it doesn't go 100%, because you get another go the next day. Yeah. And that's how you should look at life, I think.
That's it. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, there he is. This is how good Tom Davis is. He's basically scripted an ending to the episode. I don't have to pay you for the script at the end, all right? There's no fee for that bit, is there?
You get that for free, baby.
Oh, that's very kind of you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. I mean, we could have talked about, Tommy Tippy, Closer to Nature baby stuff, but, kids are kids. Golf is much more important.
By the way, shout out Tommy Tippy, because it is an incredible range of stuff.
Yeah, it's lovely stuff.
Change. But the only thing I'd say about that, and I'm going to ruin my ending now. We didn't realise that you had to change the teats at the top. So for ages, Grace was drinking out of the one level, and you'd sit there with her and she's really trying to suck and get anything out of it. Nothing's coming out. Yeah. And then you realise that actually they go up and the holes get bigger.
The holes get bigger and bigger until it's a pint, so, basically.
But that's, I mean, that's like life sometimes.
The holes get bigger, guys. It's like, but for a man, it's the opposite of life, because actually the hole gets smaller and it comes out slower and slower, but that's too medical. We don't want to end on a medical note. Tom Davis, you're up to loads at the moment. You've got your tour this autumn.
Yeah.
So check that out. You're going to be all over the country. Basically, follow you on socials, right?
That's yeah. Instagram. I've left Twitter now.
Yeah, I've left Twitter.
Yeah. Best decision I've made.
I feel so much better.
Yeah. It was like a toxic. It felt like I was going into a pub that I didn't want to be in. Yeah. And I thought, actually, you know what? Why do I drink in here still?
And no one's paying me cash on a Friday night here.
No.
Why am I here?
And everyone else around me seems to be fighting. It feels like a really aggressive pub.
You've gone into the Queen Vic and Elon Musk is behind the bar.
Yeah.
That's what's happened with Twitter.
Yeah. You're crying out, and Ross Kemp's just become a shade of his former self, just shouting England from a rooftop on his own. Yeah. It needs something else.
So make sure you check out the brilliant Tom Davis on, I'd imagine, the Instagram. Underdog, that's your autumn tour, just in case you didn't know. The Curse Series 2, that is on all 4 now. You can check that out. It's absolutely brilliant. Tom, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
It's my mate water toaster.